Okay, with that, we'll call the meeting to order. And did everybody get a chance to go through Amy's handy dandy minutes? Corrections, errors? Nope. All right. Anybody else? If we're good, I need a motion to approve, please.
Also motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Larry.
Second.
Thank you, Dave. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Public hearings, we have none today. Remember, this is. I don't think we have necessarily anything else right now to talk about on the work plan or the budget discussion. We kind of had that discussion last month, and we moved some things around, or thought we would be able to be flexible enough to move some things if we needed to. And CJ is shaking his head yes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so unless somebody has something they want to bring up, it should be there. Okay. Junction House, Roberts House,
Any progress on that, CJ, with the Parks and Rec?
On the Parks and Rec, yes.
We were wanting to know their interest in pursuing that as a trailhead, since that was in the master plan.
Correct. Yep. So that's kind of what Cindy alluded to as well. Like, hey, a meeting with Prab, definitely could happen, but at this point, like, we have a document saying, hey, this is designated for a trailhead. So that's kind of what they would point to.
So they still want to do that, but as far as the renovation of the building and stuff, that still falls over in our court.
For sure.
With the designation, so.
Yeah.
Do we pursue it with that in mind?
We need a clear directive. We need a clear directive.
To be able to write something up
Yeah,
to pursue the,
Well, I think that would be a clear directive, because that's something in concrete that we have, on a published document.
well, here's what I've learned. And I'm at the very beginning stages of this, but it's all very exciting to me. Have you all heard of the brownfields? Well, brownfields offers planning services at no charge to the city. And they would, if we apply appropriately and go through the proper channels, we could get the whole thing planned by brownfields.
fields. Brownfield.
Brownfields.
Brownfield.
Thank you.
And I mean, we could really, the possibilities are pretty endless as far as the planning opportunities are concerned. It could include just the Roberts House property. It could include loft building. It could include other areas in Main Street that are designated. The things that are offered through brownfields is not only these planning strategies, but these virtual representations, presentations to the population of Woodland Park to advocate for such things. I mean, it's really pretty flippin' amazing.
So if we were to pursue the trailhead option, they probably need kind of like a statement of the project, or an
Yes.
outline or scope of work, basically. To see if they would accept said project type
Yes.
of thing.
Yep, it would be, you would still be applying. But I just watched the brownfields session from History Colorado or from Saving Places. And I would love it for somebody else to watch it too. The problem is you can only watch it on my phone. And cannot seem to get this thing up on a computer screen for me to log into it, to share it with everybody. Trying to get David to watch it. But there's so much to it. But yes, they would, we could get planning services from this avenue, and they would do all of it, including all of the virtual images.
Where's their local office, Denver?
I'm still learning the whole thing. I just watched that. That's why I sent you that email, Hope. Exciting news. Because it takes work off the planning department, basically. It takes it away from the Parks and Rec. It would be, but it's in conjunction with historic designation, with historic buildings, so all of this planning would include the aspect with the historic structures, all that kind of stuff. But it's more than just what we could use at Robert's house, I mean, we could,
It could apply to other
it could
things.
apply to, so it would be I think the initial step would be to meet with them or planning or somebody and say, how many areas do we want to designate? And then we can prioritize Robert's house, but we can include the Boss Building, we can include other areas in downtown Main Street, we could include other designated areas, but then pinpoint Robert's house as the priority. And they would go through the process of doing all the planning for us. So it wouldn't even be, we wouldn't have to apply for grants from History Colorado that require any matching funds. I mean, it's like, it's almost sounds too good to be true.
Yeah,
How do they make money? How do they?
Well, they're cleaning up hazardous waste. That's one thing. And it's all through the EPA. It has to have hazardous waste on it, which most everything does. So it's the goal of the federal government to clean up hazardous waste sites.
so the asbestos in the Roberts house probably would qualify.
It would absolutely qualify.
From that perspective.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
So I'm wondering if this is a situation where this would be the impetus to try to get the preservation plan in place prior to implementing any of.
Do they do preservation plan?
I mean, that would be my question.
no,
No.
they don't do that. But it would be part of a preservation plan because we would be designating areas specifically that we want to
Sure.
include in these potentially hazardous waste sites.
Sites, so, okay.
So from like a benchmark realm, I mean, what kind of other benchmarks do they have to hit? Is
Well-
it just what sites specific, or do you have to have a preservation plan?
As far as I know, you do not have to have a preservation plan, but somebody needs to take the time to learn all about this. I'm perfectly willing to do that, but I would like somebody doing it with me, because between all the projects in my head and all the other things going on, and this particular presentation was 1 hour and 15 minutes, and it was packed with information that I need a second pair of eyes and ears on.
This was a subset of Saving Places.
Yes, and our time is running out for how long this presentation will be available. Because they only make these on-demand courses available for a certain amount of time after the Saving Places. So somebody needs to sit down and watch it with me one more time and take notes with me. And then we strategize a plan.
Have me transcribe it.
Okay, I'll set up the time. I'll do it. If somebody else wants to do it too,
That'd be
that'd be
awesome.
great. So
That'd
give
be
us,
awesome.
okay.
So you just tell me when and we'll just sit down. I'm gonna print all of the PowerPoint pages. I screen saved all of them.
Okay,
I just need to go through and print them. And then as we go through the slides, we can take notes and make a plan.
okay. So, but CJ, from your perspective, since our master plan talks about the Roberts site being a trailhead designated as such, there would be really, sounds like there's no reason why we could not proceed to at least see what sort of options, resources are available to try to put it together with that in mind.
100%.
So we don't necessarily need to sit down and have a meeting with Park and Rec, and Cindy's out the door in June anyway, and new person coming in and all that's changing. And right, so,
This could get the ball rolling.
but there's no reason, yeah, you don't see any
There's
reason
no-
why we can't move forward and pursue this
No?
to see if there's another opportunity here, right?
And in fact, I heard that's why I need a second pair of ears. I mean, I was planning on watching it all over again myself. But I mean, it includes asbestos testing. So like for the Boss Building, we could get the EPA involved and they would do the testing and they would tell us what the remediation process would be. I mean, it really does sound too good to be true. That's why somebody else needs to listen with it. to Make sure that I actually
Heard,
heard what I think I heard.
Okay, okay, all right, okay.
Okay, so I'll just wait to hear from you. Set up a time.
We'll set up a time.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on that, guys? Okay, Templeton,
Okay, I have something to say on that too.
yeah,
So Steve Clune put in a request to Aaron and has not heard anything back. But asked about putting a monument in there. So,
remember we had a discussion about putting a monument in there. The thought was we kind of kiboshed it because we thought it might set up a vandalism type situation, given the history.
Mhm.
And so Steve sort of kind of, I remember correctly, had walked away from wanting to do anything. Well, apparently that's come back around and apparently he has interest. And he hasn't approached our group, but he has approached Aaron at this point. So that's just the point of information right now,
Yeah.
because I haven't had any conversation. Steve did not share any of that with. That's something that Linda,
I was copied on an
I
email.
was copied on the email and she's the only ones that Steve shared with, so that's how we know about that. Okay. That's, so that's a wait and see. Preservation plan. Where did we leave off on that?
We didn't know, I'm sorry, Amy, but I have to go back for Junction House.
Oh.
We did confirm that the barn was included in the designation. That's no longer a question. Now, as far as the preservation plan, where we left off with that was, we didn't know if there was any particular funding, and there is funding through saving, or through District Colorado for preservation plan grants. We have to start with a letter of intent and then apply for the grant. I have a list of all of the potential grant writers. So one of the first things we have to do is go through the process of getting bids from grant writers, if that's the way we want to go with a grant writer, or we want to try to do it ourselves.
Right, and we know that we have Sally's baseline work if we want to do that.
So that grant needs to be applied for by October 1st, but it requires the letter of intent first.
So that letter of intent probably needs to have our city letterhead and we can get an idea of what it, to put it together. Okay. Bergstrom Park, any upgrade on anything that you've heard, CJ?
No, I have not.
Monies are the holdup, and once some things happen, then design can start.
But as far as I know, I think nothing's changed. I believe they were sending out the RFPs and just kind of getting some cost analysis done, so.
Okay, and my understanding was, and just to repeat it, that we would at least be asked to participate on some level in that process.
My understanding too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, other business, the 250-150 celebration. I don't think we've out of here come up with anything, but there are some things going on in the community. The mural is going to get refreshed. The Historical Society is going to pay Lois to refresh.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so the mountain artists, I have a group together of about 10 volunteers who are going to wash the soot and the grease off of to brighten it back up, because that's what's happened. And then Lois we've got that scheduled 17th and 18th. 17th and 18th, which is a Sunday and a Monday. For cleaning.
Coming up.
And then Lois is in and out of town, but she hopes to have it all done and totally refreshed by July 4th is her goal. So it'll be all done. And we will, in working with Melody over at the Cultural Center and so on and so forth, hopefully we can get some drone footage and some little bit of promotion about that. So that bad activities going on. And then, at the farmer's market, there's gonna be a special booth all 17 weeks to help highlight the 250, 150. It'll have the red, white, and blue type of theme. But the Historical Society is gonna man the booth and have some things, promote some things. They'll promote the baseball game on August 8th and the other celebratory things that are going on. So there are some, a few things going on from that perspective. Okay,
Awesome.
going into any more detail. We're still just sitting on the historical designations for the, we're not doing anything yet with Henrietta and Lake.
He's all excited,
He's all excited.
wants to go. You could have been here, except I was ready to say this as part of the meeting. Kid, ready to go?
Okay,
Excited to do
Good.
it. Happy.
that's over at the church.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And then on Lake, those folks, you were waiting for a response from the letters that you sent out.
Yeah, we actually did get 2 responses from the letters this,
Right.
in the last 2 weeks.
Okay,
So 720 west to south and 514 west Henrietta.
say again, 720?
Yeah, 720 west south
Uh-huh,
and then 514 west Henrietta. So, these folks were very interested, wanted more information, so. We have, gosh, what was that, in 2023, we had the state come in and give the big presentation on historic designations. And, what it gives you and, things like that, so I gave him that video and then, offered to set up a time to meet with them and the, application too, if they just wanted to jump right in, so.
so right now, you batted the ball back to their court.
Correct,
They have to get back
correct,
from these 2 addresses.
correct.
But then that one response that you did get earlier, they
Yes.
never, you asked for follow-up information, but you have no way to contact them, right?
Correct.
But these are 2 new ones.
2 new ones,
Cool,
yeah.
cool. And then the 107 West Henrietta and the 112 and 116 West Lake, those were probably on our list
Oh, yes,
when you sent the letters out
correct,
with no response.
with no response.
I will get to the Murrays when they get to town.
When they come for the summer. Okay, all right. So maybe,
They are due anytime.
okay, which are they the ones on West Lake or the one on
They're
top?
on West Lake.
Okay. So maybe we will be able to stir something up at that point. Okay, cool, Larry.
What do I need to get to the owners of the
So,
the old church?
so on the church property, what are we calling that property? So I call it right. What's
They
it?
named it the Henrietta. It's pretty easy and.
Okay, the Henrietta.
Mhm.
Okay, so remind me, there was an interest in a designation?
Oh, yeah. When
Okay,
they're ready to go, they're happy.
so they need to fill out the request for the historical designation form. And there's a $68 fee that goes with that, right, CJ?
Yeah, it's like the 2026 historic designation nomination.
So if
It's
they,
posted on our website.
okay. So if they fill that out, and maybe we could invite them to the next meeting in theory, and they could just ask us any questions that they have, and then we have to schedule the public hearing.
Correct.
Does the $64 need to come in with the 68 with the
Yeah,
first meeting?
Ideally, it would come in with the
Yeah.
application, right? CJ?
yeah. Yeah, I think recently, we're just trying to draw a hard line because, we're definitely not a for-profit organization, but just to keep everyone, trying to toe the same line. The money with the application, so.
That's great. So they've made some progress. Okay. Right, I'm gonna skip the boss building for just a second. The poster,
Yes.
we made a decision to do the women. And I
Any
don't-
refinement on that idea?
I think they decided, I think the Historical Society did decide on 5 women. But I don't know who they are. Maybe the starting point is I'll get you the names. And I'll get Mike Bryant. Because the movie producer's in town, the guy who, the director is in town, I believe his name's Bob. But they're starting, so I think they pinned down, so Dave, I'll get you that information.
Yeah, get the information, contacts, and where it makes sense for me to make any direct contact. Them to contact me, tell me what they things they found interesting.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll follow up on that, so you have that, so. Time to get crunching on it.
Yeah, I can imagine something might want, well, maybe it doesn't matter, come up with overlap with the previous women of influence in Linden Park.
I don't think there's any overlap.
Well,
No,
that would be ideal,
no overlap.
more interesting stuff.
This
And that
is-
was well received with the other one we did before, so.
Yeah, one of these ladies was at the Battle of the Bulge and was a nurse, and they dropped them off in the middle of the battlefield, and she and the nurses were pulling the guys out of tanks, burning tanks and saving them, and she lived right here. And there's quite, yeah, it's people, I've never heard of these ladies. That all dug up. These are brand new people, brand new names to all of us, I'm sure.
That's exciting.
It is cool. It's cool. Okay, so I will follow through with that for you, Dave. And then May is Preservation Month banner that Eric has been kind enough in the past to try to get that up for us.
Yeah, Linda helped, Linda and I put that up on the first.
Okay, are you gonna have to move it or can it stay?
Please do.
Yeah, it's gonna stay, and CJ helped us to get the
Get the-
application in, and I thank the previous people for letting us do it the last 2 years, and they said, you wanna come back, we could use that.
Is that at the corner by the Fiesta? Yeah, where you're hanging it?
No, we put it on the Boss building,
Put it on the Boss Building?
on the railing, that was this,
I haven't seen it. I haven't been down the hill for a while.
Haven't come back that way and come back the back way.
yeah, so we put it on the railing.
Oh, yeah.
That was, I don't know if his idea was, but it was a really good idea. Yeah, I think,
Yes.
yeah.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Well, that,
I think that's.
So they wouldn't let me come in to get the poster the other day.
Well, yeah, we were closed. We're not gonna let you just
No,
break in.
no,
Wait.
it's the people at the front don't know me, I guess. He said I could.
On Thursday? There was someone here. Did you come in on Friday?
No, there was somebody here, but she was on me through.
Yeah. we were closed. Yes.
No. Anyway, I got the poster. Somebody went and got it out of your office.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the Voss Building. So I know a lot of stuff has happened and I haven't been, I know both David and Linda have been engaged with Andrew, the owner of the building. And it was actually on site.
Mhm.
So the inside of the building has been viewed and seen. And there's been some.
What's the only thing again?
Sorry.
Andrew.
and it's, you pronounce it wing. And I have something to give to you that he sent to me today. It's an informal letter of intent. Just going over a few things. But there's his name.
Oh,
Just so you know, it's
Oh.
pronounced wing. It's in bird wing.
But spelled different.
It's spelled different.
Yeah, Andrew Wing, he's very cordial. He's very interested in moving forward and in saving that building and in doing what he has to do. And he's proven to be very forthright with information. And he's also shared that, you know, how there's been a lot of frustration in our community and relayed to us through a variety of means, whether through Park State Bank and Tony Perry and some other people, that he wouldn't do certain things or return phone calls and so on and so forth. Well, come to find out, I believe this individual has had some family issues, some death in the family, as well as some financial issues that are going on. So he had some circumstances within their family dynamic that had precluded him from being on top of this like he had wanted to be on top. So there's two sides to every story, and this is one of those cases where there's two sides to every story. Bottom line is, this young man is interested in doing something with the building. And he's interested in working with members of this committee, as well as locally with the architects here in Woodland Park. Sitting right here. And-
So that's a, go ahead.
Right?
Yes.
And I
I'll
mean,
fill in when you're.
right, and I mean, I don't know the details and so on and so forth. I just kind of know the big story. But Steve Plute filled out the application for the designation to put it as a local landmark. And I know you're in possession of that. That application, you have it right there. But it doesn't have the $68 application fee, which needs to go with it. And so I think Linda's going to try to work on that to get that in to help with that situation. Okay. And I guess before Dave kind of fills in here with what's going on with Andrew, what he can, CJ, at this point, the city in the condemnation process appears to have been fairly aggressive with Andrew with their approach. And here we have a property owner who's willing to do something with the property now and move forward. So I guess as from this committee's perspective, it seems that the request might be to the city, which I don't know if that's Aaron or whoever. And that's where I wish, Jeff, I wish you were here, and I hope you watch this, and because you are really our liaison back into the city in terms of talking probably to Aaron about backing off. If we have a property owner that wants to make good with his property and do something with it constructive, then can we back off when he's being as cooperative as he is? So on that note, I'm hoping that Jeff is watching and he gets that, and we don't waste any time moving forward with some conversations. Having said that, Dave.
You're right, very important on it about what's coming from. Andrew has just provided a letter of intent so that everybody know he was serious about moving ahead in the right direction. With it,
And you can have this copy, CJ.
letter of intent to hire me as architect. Architects normally have some direction, if not rights, to be involved in anything to do with a construction in a building. So therefore, we looking into things and we getting proposals on a few steps right up front. Part of the concern there is we don't want to try to take advantage of something where, as you're saying, there seems to be some movement from the city to try to get it removed. So not trying to pull any strings in any direction, but to provide a professional service. That having been said, you'll be aware that if it comes to any decisions, voting especially, point on that building, I will recuse myself. I am assuming that comments and input and information is still open. That's part of it. Could be there as if I walked in as a visiting person, that I wouldn't be limited. Clarify for me anything else you need, because I do not want to inhibit any form of process here. For your information and input to it. Andrew Wayne is a very serious, committed sort of person. It was, as you were saying, family. Part of that should be understood is with the confusion of incomplete demolition plans, rejected inspections, non-cooperation with building permit stuff. he got burned really bad by a contractor, hundreds of thousands from a contractor out of Denver. And of course, you want to say, well, hire locally, you don't have to, you know where we live. Don't worry about it. So that's where Linda was going to a financial burden. He's very reasonably open to it. He's not a high-powered businessman, but he did speak very sincerely about that everything he does is a family legacy. That puts a very positive spin on this direction here. Nevertheless, we want to make sure, like you're saying, how do we find out what the real motivation is behind these inspections and inferences that the process is going towards removal of the building.
Well, and if we've made progress to this point, up to the point that kicked off the condemnation process, it was the perceived lack of response, that it was just looking worse and worse, that we couldn't get in contact with him. All that's reversed now. So if
Yes.
that's reversed now, so I think us as an organization, as a committee, not an organization, but we're a committee, that we could make the request of the city, can we back off of this and let the property owner do his due diligence and work through the process? So I would think that's a fair request that we as a committee could make to the city. And Jeff, if you're watching us, maybe not right now, but if you watch this YouTube, if we could make a request through you, that would be fantastic. Because we believe that there's lots of evidence here that we have a very serious,
And
sincere property owner that wants to do the right thing. So let's give him a chance to do it. So,
and may I just interject?
please.
Because he is gonna be seeking historic funding from History Colorado. That makes the process a number of years, because the maximum amount he can get is $250,000 in one chunk. So we need to give him the time to do what he intends to do. And one of his ideas is to designate the historic portion of that building as a museum for in honor of Claire Voss. So he has incredible intentions, but when you're fighting the powers here at the city and those inspections were pretty nasty. They were very, very aggressive, and 2 armed police officers were involved, and his head was spinning on that first inspection day. He didn't know what end was up with the number of people that showed up, and they were not very kind to him. And so he was so flustered at the end of that first inspection that he had no clue what was going on. And so you'll also notice in that a letter of intent that he claims that he was never informed about any monies that were available to him to clean up the sewage back up. So there's a lot of different stories going on.
There's a
here.
lot of he says, she said,
Yeah.
There's a lot of misinformation. The rumors and the facts haven't been spread accurately in any way, shape, or form. And so we would really like to encourage,
Just slow down.
slow down and let's do the right thing for the owner of the property and for the property and for the community. And there's a whole lot of interest that's been expressed in the community about doing something positive with that building as well. And that whole story about the sewage in the basement is not right.
It's not
That sewage and that backup occurred,
in
from
the
what I
addition.
understand, in the addition up in the kitchen area. It was not down below. It's not the big mess that some people would like to propagate that particular rumor. So we would just like to really encourage, and Jeff, we would be happy to sit down with you and talk to you about this before you go forward with any of this as well.
Yeah.
So we would welcome your input and be able to share with you what we have learned in just the last month, because all this has come about just really in the last 3 weeks,
Mhm.
more or less. And we're kind of excited about the fact that we were been able to move this mountain that apparently was immovable. And we're making some progress, and this historical designation, local landmarking is really important. My understanding is we get the $68 application fee, we will have to do a public hearing. Our committee will have to do a public hearing. And then, once that's approved, that goes on to council for approval.
Is Jeff still the council rep?
Uh-huh. Jeff
He
just
didn't change.
He's just,
did not change.
he's sick today.
He's still on, because I thought maybe they had a council. meeting
No,
And they shifted decisions.
They did have a council meeting, but he stayed with
Yeah.
us, so.
yeah, he emailed me today. He's just sick today.
Okay, I was just wondering, because because we have rotated so many, and I thought, here we go again, somebody different. Thank you.
In the interest of, outside of the rumor, keeping things professionally correct. First thing I advise you to do, and we'll support on it, is answer in response to what that inspection says, not make up crap about it. Says, one of the major ones is a cease and desist work, stop work order. There's no work going on.
There's no work going on.
You had inspectors in there like for instance, the health department. There's nothing for a health department to inspect, et cetera. So you need to make a point of all these things and to answer specifically to the notices he gets, and I'll assist him on that. And be exactly answering professionally correct. And hopefully that will go towards redirecting.
Cool, that's great.
Yeah, so he's given David access to the building. And David's already made plans to get independent inspection of the building. Structural, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing.
Hmm.
And that will be a report that's prepared to counter anything that may come from Pikes Peak Regional Building Department or the Health Department or the Fire Department. And one of the big questions was, why were the health and fire even there? Because there's a number of vacant buildings in town, and there's also a number of buildings under construction that aren't inspected until they're ready to be inspected. So this is really no different than a building that's under construction. So to pull the health department in just seems very questionable. Why it was done in this particular case. And you can't inspect a kitchen if the kitchen doesn't exist. So,
Well, if there was rumors of a sewer backup, I think it's very pertinent that a health department would go. Because, no one knew. I mean, how long has it been since someone has really been in the building?
but that's the point, nobody's in the building.
Well, that's what I'm saying too, is, it's. If there was rumors of a sewer backup, if there was a sewer backup, I think that's probably why the Teller County Health Department was
It
contacted.
could be, but this is an opportunity when
Right.
they issue their reports. And now that Andrew has hired, will be hiring Dave officially, then they will be able to professionally respond to those reports.
Yeah.
And answer those questions so we can get the right information on the table.
Mhm.
And that's what's nice, that we can get it straightened out.
Right.
Because I do think there is a lot of public support for the building. I'm wanting to keep it and do something
Mhm.
with it. And it could be, there are several mock-ups and cleanups that have been done, that Linda's done, that it really does change the whole,
Section of the building.
the whole perception of the building and everything else. So,
We'd like to be able to proceed with that without fear that the bulldozers, the equipment's warming up on the back alley and ready to come. So that having been said, there's a couple things associated with that I wanted to answer about. Part of it, I've got my input as an architect, but nobody necessarily has to answer to that. I don't know where to go or what's in order to reply back to the health department, who has not provided any report yet anyway, because there was nothing to report on it, is how do I direct on behalf of owner a response to these inspections? I'm not sure quite how to do that, but does appear that as far as, well, no, I asked. The inspections were called for by the city. Regional Building Department does not make an inspection without a plan to look at. Well, that's not the case. This case. I asked them, they said, well, the city said required that we be here. And I didn't know otherwise how much, why. And so this stuff is very mysterious, makes it difficult for the owner to appropriately answer
Sure.
to the reports.
Sure.
So that's part of it. Associated with that, I've got a question that goes to you. Where we get a hard stop on anything recently on access to public records, you gotta go through your legal process or something like that. When we sat down before, well, that's written responses, that's what we're getting. When he sat down with you before, you're wonderful. They say, hey, what about this? And you disappear for about a whole 3 seconds, and you're back with the whole file and running copies. Yay. Everybody knows what's going on. We're getting a hard stop anytime we're asking a question.
How are you asking the question through the Quora request form on the website?
No, I just, David asked me to ask you for copies of anything you guys had on the Voss building. And then you directed me to that public records
Right.
thing. But he's saying that,
Well, when you look at the public records, you get the response of a process.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's what we got.
Records request today. We have X amount of days to get it done.
Get it.
If it takes longer than, gosh, Amy, do you remember from doing these? I forget. X amount of hours you're supposed to
Then
bill,
there's a billing.
then there's a
yeah.
billing process.
There's somebody.
So the city clerk says, how long do you think it's gonna take you?
Mhm.
If it's a huge one, I'm gonna say 8 hours. I don't know what the billing rate is.
I don't even.
This is just an example. I would say 8 hours, and she would bill that person 8 hours. So did you officially submit the
No, we
records
just got
request
the,
online?
no, we just got the response that it could be up to $1,500. And he said, whoa, wait a minute.
Well,
DJ always just walks over and hands me the file.
that's the worst case scenario. It would not cost you $1,500.
Okay, well, I'm relieved to hear that and knowing you, I expect
Submit the records request. That's what my opinion is.
so I can't just walk in and say, what do you got on? Can't do that anymore.
No, I haven't been able to do that for several years now. So,
I got away with stuff before then. CJ was too nice.
We're on camera here.
Well,
Well, maybe you guys can regroup and.
So,
Have that
yeah, I
discussion.
pointed you towards that records request form online, so you can ask for anything.
Yeah.
Just because you ask for it doesn't mean you're gonna get it, because whatever we have, you will get. Because that's law. It's the Colorado Open Records Act.
Yeah.
Whatever we have, you'll get if you submit that form.
you were saying there's a amount of time allowance before the charges start.
Think that
It's
they
an hourly deal.
think few hours are included in that. If it's going to take an extenuated period of
Correct.
time. I don't know if there's 2 hours included in that or 3 hours in the request, but if it is excessive, then an hourly rate kicks in, I think, something like
Exactly.
that. Does that sound right?
That's exactly
that's
right.
how it was, yeah.
Okay.
So it goes to, you need to make the formal request.
Correct.
To get
Yeah.
back with an amount of time or something, so you're aware of the charges to say. Stop work or allowance of whatever the.
Yeah,
the
so-
charges are.
How that works is, so you submit the records request online, and there's a box for you to fill out. Hey, I want any and all documentation that you have on the building at this address. Right? It goes to the clerk's office, and then she determines who gets that. So if it's for planning, she emails myself, Karen, Dave, Grant, Rick, the whole planning department gets this email. You have a records request, someone needs to fill it within a amount of days. I think it's 7 days.
I don't remember.
Something
I
like
think-
that.
Yeah, we have a time limit.
It's definitely a time limit. We have to turn around quick.
Mhm.
If for some reason we think it's gonna take an, extended amount of time, we're gonna get back to Monica and say, hey, it's gonna take 8 hours, you need to bill these people.
Oh, it's not-
So you would get that notification before you proceeded and you wouldn't just end up with a big invoice without notifying it. Correct.
Because before we start work on it, we have to tell Monica that, and then Monica gets with the form submitted, you know, the
Yeah.
person, the applicant. Said, hey, are you willing to proceed? Yes or no? So it's not gonna,
Yeah.
don't quote me, I'm on camera. It's probably not gonna cost you any money.
Correct. It's probably not.
It's probably not.
It would probably fall.
That's on
within
the
the-
record.
It would it would probably fall within.
Probably not.
Okay, well, good to know. We just didn't know what we're getting into or how
Yeah.
there any point of controlling into that and misread the severity of that.
Yeah.
Although it's real nevertheless, so good to be aware. That's although
Cool.
Lydia probably has some more historical references on this.
No,
You good?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, ready to move on? Okay, maybe May Preservation Month, I just want to point out, written a few articles that have occurred in the Courier over the course of the last month or so. Part of it's part of the A 250, 150 and the UPass Historical Society 50th anniversary, but William Teller, he wrote that article in the paper, and I think he's writing something almost every week. So that kind of supports us with the May Preservation Month as well, with that information that he's got out there. So if you guys haven't seen the Couriers in the last few weeks, take a look, because he's got some cool stuff in there, what he's written. So now we're down to committee members' reports. So, Mr. Black.
Want the usual, the new exhibit in the gift shop, Brady doll collection. I know we're not all in the doll, but it's a beautiful collection and really displayed nice. But the bonus for anyone that might be interested is a black doll. And it's a rarity, I think, for a black baby doll to be on display. And here we can the tried doing because we didn't have black in the area. We were servants to those who had cash in the 20s and 30s. And I know Steve that he did, and checked the census about black living here, but they were only their servants, the butler or the maid, and they stayed in these outside buildings on these large pieces of land. A black baby child with a little heritage out here. We did not about person kindness,
Precious kindness.
precious kindness,
Precious kindness. That's amazing.
part of that heritage.
Yeah.
But unlikely to see a black baby doll. I mean,
Yeah.
unique, it's a nice exhibit. And so I don't know how many people wander in to see what's happening, but it's something different.
It is.
Like,
Great.
that's all I mean.
Thank you. Anything else?
I just heard from, at UPass Historic Society, and they do want more posters. So, I have a laminator machine, so I'm willing to help with that.
Okay.
So, is there any opportunity for getting reimbursement for the film? I wouldn't charge for my hours, but I am gonna be purchasing some more film. Is that something that I can submit a receipt for to somebody?
We could probably use it out of, don't we have a miscellaneous
I
fund?
think, I didn't really know.
I mean, it's not mandatory, I'm just
But I
curious.
bet you we could.
It's not that
We'll
expensive.
find money.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that because UPass Historic Society has already given away or sold, I don't even know if they're selling those posters or not, but they've asked for more. So, okay, I'll take care of that.
Cool. I don't have anything.
I have nothing. Thought it might be interesting, but I think I missed on Robert's house. I pulled the plat to see what is that the city owns. And it's all good news. So I'll bring it next time and we can,
Okay, it's all good news.
it's good news as far as it being platted.
So we'll watch the
Platted.
brownfields and then we'll see how we can use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
tract of open space and it's platted as part of the Walmart center. And to me, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
And it makes it easier, if you will, as far as surveying, mapping. Well, there's a trail easement that comes in to it, hopefully it aligns with the trail, but that's the kind of stuff we'll figure out.
Okay, cool. David, anything else? You sure?
Thank you.
Right, and Jeff isn't here with us. But CJ's here with us.
Yeah, the only, as far as the HPC standpoint, the only two things that I had was those two addresses that we got emails back on, so I think that's a plus. Other than that, I just want to let you guys know this is my last HPC meeting. I had my 2 weeks last week, and my wife and I are moving. So,
Where?
my wife and I are moving to Chaffey County,
Chaffey County.
so a little too far to commute. So,
Well, and you're taking your kids, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go to.
yeah. No, we're leaving. They're a pain in my ass. Just kidding. Our family.
Who's gonna take
Get
your?
get the receipt in for the lamination. Oh, this is Tuesday. He's out of here Friday.
Oh, that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. Who's gonna take your place?
Job is posted. If you guys know anyone that's willing to.
I'm not applying for it.
Yeah. As far as the HPC goes, nope. It's kind of in the works.
So the communications with some great information that you've had, the files that you've had, those, I imagine Karen has access to that stuff.
As far as like specifics or anything related to HPC that I work on, I PDF emails or stuff you give me, I scan them in. It's all in our shared we call it the H drive.
Okay.
It's all on our shared drive. We have a full folder HPC. That's where all the minutes are, packets, agendas, information regarding destination, but all of that. She has access to everything.
Well, CJ, we're gonna miss you.
Yeah, just working with all of you guys and, yeah, have to say goodbye sometimes, but I think it'll be good for my family, so.
Chaffey County is a great county. Raise a family.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's great. So happy for you, but
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're gonna miss
we
you.
don't look forward to breaking in more people.
Don't be scared of me.
Yeah,
Can't you just Teams meeting into the,
yeah, I'll just watch and,
Maybe watch for,
provide public comment and good whoever's in the seat held next. So, but, yeah, I appreciate it, so.
Really best of luck. Hope that comes out.
Yeah, thank you.
Will
so much.
be missed.
Appreciate it, Larry. Thank you.
Okay,
That's my news.
okay. So if there's a couple loose ends that we've talked about today, if we can, you've got the time on your plate to.
Yeah, oh, I was gonna say, we always post Nicole upstairs always posted videos to YouTube, so I'm gonna timestamp the boss stuff for Jeff and send it to him via email. When he emailed me today that he was sick, after I got off the phone with you, I said, please watch the YouTube video tomorrow. So I'll send him a direct link to that YouTube video.
Okay, great.
So.
Good deal. Thank you. Thank you. So on that, I guess we are adjourned.